I'm a gay man from New York, which means I have a lot of pet peeves. Two in particular. One is people who wait far too long in line to order their coffee, or really do anything and wait too long in line. And two is when people ask me, when did you come out? Now that second one might sound a little strange. We're in liberal Tel Aviv, I'm sure. I hope most of you at least know and are friends with and love one gay person in this audience. But for me, when I hear that question, when did you come out? It totally wipes my entire existence away. Because it's essentially like asking me, do you only wake up once in your lifetime? Because every day I come out. Just like I wake up, I have to tell people I'm gay. Whether it's when I started university and made friends and needed to share those pieces of my life with them, or when it was I moved to Israel with a group of 10 other people and decided the first night we met that I was going to tell them I was gay. Or it could be the time that I told my parents I was gay. And in all three of these instances, I had to make choices. I had to make choices about who I wanted to be and how I wanted to present myself. And being gay for me means that every moment when I'm turning into something new, I have to shape the narrative. So I'm going to take you back to the time when I realized that I had to shape my own narrative. And the story is both funny and a little sad. So if you will, think about it. Park Slope, 1990s. For those of you who don't know, Park Slope is a beautiful little neighborhood in Brooklyn, famous for yuppies, lesbian artists, and decent coffee. And I was a child of two yuppies who decided that they wanted to make their life there, and raised me and my brother in what you could describe as one of the most liberal households on the face of the planet. They loved me, they let me be whoever I want to be, they didn't force me to play Little League. We went to a liberal open synagogue where there was a lesbian section at my bar mitzvah. I had multiple friends and family friends who were gay and lesbian idols that I could look up to. And so, when I realized I was gay, I was given this power because it wasn't some hard struggle for me. I had seen lots of Lifetime movies where moms and sons cry together and then they run away and then they come home and then everyone prays to Jesus and it's great. And that wasn't my experience. My experience was being 12 years old, looking around, realizing, okay, this is who I'm probably going to end up marrying one day, and that's okay. But what that also means is now people assume something and I'm going to have to constantly correct their assumption. And that was alright with me, because I realized that in doing it, it gave me power to do lots of things. It gave me power to make myself more interesting. It gave me power to open my world up to people who maybe didn't know my world. And it also gave me the power to get out of trouble. So I look at 14-year-old Sam, has a party with his friends, they drink a little bit too much beer, they don't get rid of all of it, and we forget to throw it away. And it's hidden in some crevice of my basement. Well, one day, about a few months later, my parents decide to clean out my basement. And what do they find? This little bag of beer bottles. The only remnants of the only party I ever threw in high school, because afterwards I got too afraid that my parents would figure out and I'd have to deal with it in other ways than I eventually did. And so I come home, my parents have this bag of beer bottles on the table and they say, Sam, what is this? And in my mind I'm like, don't we all know those are beer bottles? Oh, okay. Mom and Dad, those are beer bottles, but it's not what you think. It's not what you think. Right, because in my mind, the only thing worse than being gay, which wasn't a bad thing in my household, was disobeying the trust of my liberal New York Jewish parents, who are not upset that I drank, but I drank without them there, and I drank without their consent, and I had people in the house, but it's not a problem that I had people in the house, it's that I had people in the house without their consent. And I knew that for me as a 14-year-old, I didn't want to lose my Metro card, I didn't want to lose my ability to go out on the weekends, and so I told my parents the only thing I knew that would totally erase all of this. I said, Mom and Dad, I've been so depressed that I've been drinking every night alone by myself because I have something I want to tell you and I just can't. And they say, Sam, why would you do this? What could it possibly be? What is so bad? I said, I can't tell you because you'll hate me, you'll kick me out, I can't live in the house anymore, you won't love me anymore. And they say, Sam, you can tell us anything. And I say, I'm gay. Now, this was a calculated move on my part, because I knew that with my liberal yuppie Jewish parents, if they thought for a moment that I was afraid to tell them I was gay, the fact that I drank meant nothing. Because they had broken the cardinal rule as yuppie Jewish parents, which is they did not create a safe, free to be you and me, Marlo Thomas environment for their child to grow up in. And in that moment I knew I would never get in trouble for drinking. Right? And that was power. That's the kind of power that very few gay people ever get to experience in their life. But with great power comes great responsibility. I think either Franklin Delano Roosevelt or Spider-Man said that. Can't remember. And what ended up happening was something I didn't expect, which is I didn't talk to my dad for almost a month. And I was telling my friends about this, how my dad and I just were not talking, and he comes home and he'll like say goodnight and give me a kiss, but we don't talk anymore. And my friends said, he must be a homophobe, he must hate you, he must hate everything that you are, and we're your cool, young, liberal friends, and like, let's fight against the man, which is your dad, because he's a white guy who works in business, so he's the man. And at the time I kind of thought that might be true. But what I actually realized going forward was that my dad's love for me was so incredibly deep that yes, we joke about this breaking cardinal rule, but he really felt like he had done something wrong. That his entire life of working and raising 2 kids and being a good father, which my dad is the world's like greatest dad, he has the mug and the t-shirt to prove it. But he felt like he had failed me. And what I realized in that moment too was I thought I had used this like trick and I had this power that I could like use to get out of trouble. Like, here's my gay card, thanks for the free drink, here's my gay card, nope, I didn't break that. And what I did was actually, I did break that. I broke my dad's heart, and it took a long time for us to end up rebuilding that. So at a moment which could have been a huge turning point for me, it actually ended up being a huge turning point for me and my dad.